Hello everyone, today is Wednesday's math lesson and today we'll be learning how to compare and measure capacity using standard units. Capacity just means how much a container can hold or how much of something is inside that container. It could be a measuring cylinder or a measuring jug like this one, or even a cup or any form of container, maybe even my stripy tin from the other day. And it doesn't have to be a liquid, although we quite often use liquids like water when we do capacity lessons in school. It could be how many lentils fill my measuring cylinder, or how many cubes, how much sand. It doesn't matter, we're just measuring either how much to fill it up or how much is within it. Today, we will be thinking about liquids, however, because we're going to be helping Wilf the Wizard create some magic potions. So I've got something to share with you. There we go. So, here we go. Wilf the Wizard needs help making his magic potions. The first thing we're going to have a go at is comparing. So we're comparing capacity. And we can use words like full, empty, nearly full, nearly empty, half full. We can use words like that to help us put different capacities in order. So I've got 3 potion bottles here, and we need to order them from full to empty. So have a little bit of a think. Which potion bottle do you think would go here at the full end? Which would go in the middle and which would go at the end? Have a little think. Let's see if you're right. There we go. We've got the full bottle at this end, the empty bottle at the other end, and the half full bottle in the middle. Let's have another go. This time we're going to help Hocus the cat order these potions. Now look carefully at the bottom, the words have changed. We've still got full at this end, but now we've got nearly empty because there isn't an empty bottle here, is there? So have another think. Which looks full, which looks nearly empty, and which one do you think you're going to put in the middle to order them correctly? Let's see if you were right. There we go. In the OneDrive folder, there is an activity where you can practice doing this comparing of capacities. You can either pause this video now and have a little go at that, or you can do it at a later time or before you start the main activity. It's up to you, but it's just a nice one to get you used to using the language. All right, let's get on to making his potions then. When we measure capacity using standard units, we use millilitres or litres. Millilitres tend to be for small things like a cup of tea or a bottle of squash. Litres tend to be for bigger containers or larger amounts of liquid, like a big jug of milk. We're going to be using millilitres today. So help Wilf the Wizard measure out his ingredients. Here, look, we have a beaker, and it is marked along the side to show us where the millilitres go. Have a look at the scale. It just goes up in ones this time. Every number is labelled so you can see them clearly, all the way up to 10 millilitres. We have a small bottle of snake oil. Let's see what he'd like us to do. Measure out 5 millilitres of snake oil into the beaker. So if we were to take our bottle of snake oil and pour it into the beaker, where would we need to stop when the liquid reaches which line, do you think, if it's 5 millilitres? We can draw it onto the beaker with a nice thick line. There we are, look, 5 millilitres of snake oil on the line next to the 5. Let's try another one. Oh, essence of nightshade this time. Measure out 8 millilitres of essence of nightshade into the beaker. Have another look. Have a think, see if you can point which line do you think we need to fill it up to this time? Where would 8 millilitres be? And again, we can draw a line. There we are, 8 millilitres in line with the 8. Now, Look at this beaker carefully because the scale has changed. Instead of every number being labelled, this time we're counting in twos. Look, 2, 4, 6, 8. So each line now is 2 millilitres. 2 millilitres. Let's see what we need to do. Measure out 12 millilitres of Dawn Dew into the beaker. So where would we draw our line this time? Are we going to try and count up 12 lines or are we counting in twos? Where's the number 12 on the beaker? And again, we'll draw our line. There we are. 12 millilitres. A nice line there for you. Okay. Briny broth. This time, yes, measure out 9 millilitres of briny broth. Now, if we're counting in twos, is there a 9 labelled on our beaker? Let's have a look. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The 9's missing. Where would the 9 go? Where should it be? Have a think. Let's have a look where the line would be. Can you see? It's halfway between the 8 and the 10, just where the 9 would be. Okay, so it doesn't have to have the number on it. Sometimes you need to think carefully about where it would go. Usually there are little lines in between, much like on a ruler with the millimetres. So on this one there isn't though. So we have to put it halfway between the 8 and the 10 because that's where 9 millilitres would go. Now this time we have to add more than one ingredient. We've got briny broth and Dawn Dew. Now this is similar to what you're going to be doing as part of your worksheet in a minute. So how do we draw that onto these measuring cylinders? There's measure out 6 millilitres of Dawn Dew and 4 millilitres of briny broth into the beaker. So we'll start with our 6 millilitres of Dawn Dew. We're back to our scale showing every number, look. Dawn Dew, 6 millilitres. Now with my 4 millilitres of briny broth, I want you to imagine now that this is full up with Dawn Dew up to the 6 millilitre mark. All of that is full of liquid already. So am I going to do my 4 millilitre line here at 4 millilitres, or am I actually adding that briny broth on top? Imagine it's already got water in. If you want to, you can go and get a cup and pour some water in, if mummy will let you or daddy will let whoever's around, so that you can see that when you add more water, that level rises. You're not going to draw the line underneath. I know it says 4 millilitres here, but remember you're adding that on top. So we've got 6 millilitres, and then we're going to add another 4 millilitres of briny broth. So we're counting on another 4. So 6 add 4 is 10. Here we are, look. 1, 2, 3, 4 millilitres. And there's my line for the briny broth. And I think we've just answered our question here, haven't we? How many millilitres of potion have we made in total? We had the 6 millilitres of Dawn Dew and the 4 millilitres of briny broth. 6 millilitres add 4 millilitres is 10 millilitres of briny broth. We've got one more to try. Measure out 8 millilitres of snake oil and 6 millilitres of essence of nightshade into the beaker. Have a look at our scale again. It's always a good idea to check the scale on whatever you're using to measure or whatever we're asking you to draw on, because we're sneaky and we change them. So this one, look, we're counting in twos again. So 8 millilitres of snake oil. Let's start with that. The beaker's empty, so we can just count from the bottom, 8 millilitres. Where's my 8 millilitre line? Here we are. There's my 8 millilitres of snake oil. Now my 6 millilitres of essence of nightshade, remember we're adding that in, the liquid will be rising. So we're going to count on 6 millilitres of essence of nightshade. But look carefully. Remember you are counting in twos. So if I go from my 8 millilitre line, I'm going to count in twos. 2, 4, 6. Draw my line. So I've added on 6 mil on top of the 8 mil. All right, there we go. How much potion have we made this time? So what's our total? Where did that top line get to? Let's have another look. 14. And we can check we're right with that, can't we? Because 8 add 6 is also 14. Very good. Right, so I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay, So in the OneDrive folder, you have 2 activities to choose between. There is a slightly simpler sheet with a simple scale. That means just that every number has been labelled for you. You're going to be having a go at making some potions for Wilf the Wizard. If you fancy something a little trickier, then there is a sheet that has the scale numbered in 2s. All right, so you can choose which one you would like to do. Both activities start off by asking you to just measure 1 ingredient and then move on to adding extra. So remember, when you do that, you put the first amount in, draw the line where that would go, and then you add the other bit on. So you should end up with 2 lines, okay? There is also some challenge cards in the folder. They are nice practical capacity activities. This might be something you can do, or it might not be. It depends on who you've got around to help you and what equipment you've got in the house and whether or not Mommy and Daddy mind you getting water out today. So they're there if you want them. You don't have to do them today. You can do them whenever you like, but they're there. Okay, and that's it for our capacity lesson. See you tomorrow.